I'm using it as a leading post, so shut the fuck up. I'll put you right here. That way I can shut the fuck up properly. It's Friday, September 23rd, 2022. Apparently there's people watching this unlisted live stream with no chat room. Hi. I'm going to keep this aimed at the screen so you guys can see that number change. Because your girl is fucking tired of saying shit is happening without proving it. And as you guys have seen over the recent weeks, there's plenty of proof, isn't there? The proof, as my lovely Mariah says, or the lovely Mariah, who I consider my only friend in existence, says the proof is in the pudding. It's in the pudding. Yum, 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 pudding. Okay, you're going to sit here, there. Now you can finally see the number, kind of. And the videos that are playing are Reiki energy videos. Energy clearing to remove the supposed blocks around speaking your truth. Energy healing for abundance consciousness. Energy healing for clearing old grief. Energy healing for self-empowerment. And in the live stream. Okay? Great. So I'm sitting here and I can feel the nasty energy of people influencing me being awake. Like it's like a stank in the air of the world. I'm not going to share with you what dreams I had and whatever, but those of you who have been stealing from me, karma is on the way. If not there already, and you guys think that it's me doing it, no, honey. All energy returns to its source. What you guys did, you guys are now getting back. Because that's what you guys did. This is not going to be dragged on to another lifetime. This is not going to be allowed to be continued. Enough is enough. You guys are parasites. Allow me to give you a doodle drawing to show you that you're parasites. Because it's quite logical. Doodles. Me, the light. Yin yang. The dark part, all the people who do shady shit. And the people who are oblivious to the light. Okay? The innocent people and the ones who are doing shady shit. The physical material world. You are here. That's me and you. Some of us. The dark parts closest to the light source are the parasites. They see the light. They have it like a dung beetle. They collect the light. They create celebrities. Those celebrities replicate that light. Copied. Got all of that. And here in the light, the arrogance, the pride, the self-righteousness, the ignorance to damage and suffering of others, the negative side of light is right next to that dark spot. So they're getting those behaviors of these people. Now I'm here. Here's the secret societies, covens, groups, and all that shit of people fucking with me. The outer layer is the celebrities and other YouTubers copy-pasting everything I'm going through. The movies, industries, etc., all being drained off this. In your Qurans and stuff, you call this figure the Fatima. Okay? In the secret garden of God, while the 4 archangels watch it. But the archangels are also archonic. They're the angels of the dark realm. They drain. They give to their subordinates. Those subordinates drain. They copy, and then they have billions of life forms in the dark under their control. All due to the energy of influence of a light being surrounded by shadow people, and a shadow person surrounded by light beings. These 2 points are 1 point. They are one person. They are Lucifer. They are the light bearer, light bringer. They are the great serpent and Michael, the one who fights the serpent or whatever. But Michael is the one who comes from the light or the dark, goes to the other side to help the one in the middle. That's why he fights the serpent, the shadow people, the ones in the dark doing this to the light. Not the innocents off in the distance, not knowing what's going on, but the ones closest to the light, the ones the light thinks are family, friends, co-workers, peers. Those people that are deceiving the being of light. Comprende? Be light as a feather. Be dark as a feather. Either way, in this reality that we're in, these beings that have been harming me are parasites. They are nothing to be feared. Theodore, stop. Just stop. You're acting like a disgusting scavenger. Will you please stop? Stop. You live in a house, you have furniture to move around on, you get fed 3 times a day, you are loved absurdly. There is no reason for you to be scavenging through couch cracks. You have all your toys over there. You have free reign of this entire fucking house. Stop being selfish. There's nothing in those cracks for you. It's already been vacuumed. You're literally licking fake leather. Just like when I woke up today, you were licking the blanket for no fucking reason. And then he poops threads out. Like long threads of poop. But like the thread is in the poop. So like when he's pooping, there's threads still stuck in his intestines because of this. You see? And if I put him on the floor, he starts licking the carpet. If I put him in his doggy cage, he starts biting the metal. If I put him in the bathroom, he starts licking and eating his puppy pad or cat shit. And if I take him outside, he starts eating rocks. There is absolutely nothing I can do to discipline this dog. And if I try, I'm seen as the villain. And if I let him do that, I'm enabling him. Theodore, stop. Just stop. Be a good boy and stop. Just be a good boy. No licking. No num num. I have no idea what's going on inside your intestines, dude. I don't know what you've eaten. I don't know what's toxic to you and what isn't. I don't know if you find thumbtacks or fucking dust or wood or lily hairs, lily nails. I don't know what the fuck you're finding. I don't know what you're eating. And if you die, it's my heart that breaks. But if I yell at you, then you're afraid of me. What am I supposed to do? Thank you. Now, you parasites that are stealing from me, that can't stop or help yourselves, that's okay. You guys are just mentally unstable because you've been in the dark. Imagine a room full of people standing in the dark. And then suddenly somebody walks in, but there's a light bulb. All these people in the dark, some scatter, some run towards the light bulb person and start ripping away at it. Like the stepsisters to Cinderella, when Cinderella wore that dress and they ripped it all off of her. These people have been trying to rip the light off of me. And I've been dimming my lights to keep them safe. No more. Because now I know you're parasites. You're not people. People don't behave this way. Allow me to prove it. I posted this link in the video yesterday. We're going to post it again today. And I'm going to show you a clip because it's just right there in your Bible. It's right there in your Bible. Everything I've been telling you and how you guys have been calling me a complainer and that I'm after money or that I'm after my ex or whatever. Here you go. Hear it from someone else instead. Not subscribed to this channel. This was the only video I've ever seen. Remember, I was telling you, commandment from the Lord, warning, command, remnant. And I was like, what? And I saw this September 7th, 2022. On September 7th, 2022, which was what, 2.5 weeks ago? He's still at it again, by the way. Absolutely does not care what I say to him. September 7th. What did I post? Bro, she's a hoe. Fire signs, water signs, air signs, earth signs, Gaian sign. Okay? I don't know how else to fucking put it to you that I don't do all those other astrological signs. I do something unique. Remnant. Command. Warning. A commandment from the Lord. But you will be wealthy. So I read it forward and backwards. And I was like, okay. And then the numbers matched up. And I was like, okay, let's see what this says.
From the message text. Before the sunrise, open my eyes. I never failed to give you praise. You are the most high God. Come for you with a clean heart, a clear mind, and declare my name before it all starts. You see the special like a government. No. Deuteronomy chapter 15.
Listen close.
I'm reading from the message text. There must be no poor people among you because God is going.
I'm sorry, say that again.
To bless you like a government. No.
This is in your Bible, and you guys told me I'm complaining for bringing this up to you and having you guys stand by the word of God that God commanded you to stand by. And you guys said I'm complaining.
Deuteronomy chapter 15. I'm reading from the message text. There must be no poor people among you because God is going to bless you lavishly in this land that God, your God, is giving you as an inheritance, your very own land. But only if you listen obediently to the voice of God, your God, diligently observing every commandment that I command you today.
You're supposed to have your own land. You're supposed to be wealthy. You're supposed to have your own space. You're supposed to listen to God. You guys don't have that. And you guys have been paying mortgages, death taxes. And you're living in these fucking condominiums and all these different things when God literally said you're supposed to have your own land. Women are supposed to be Amazonian, wealthy female landowners with your husbands as your support system and you nurturing them to teach them to be better men, to raise better generations. But instead, you called me and said, I'm complaining when I'm trying to lift you back up to where God wanted you.
There are no poor people among you because God is going to bless you lavishly in this land.
And God blessed you guys lavishly in this land. And what did you people do? You saved all the money in your bank accounts. You made savings accounts. You made businesses and careers out of making the children of God suffer. And you kept us in poverty. And when we ask for what's ours, you say we're complaining.
That God, your God, is giving you as an inheritance, your very own land, but only if you listen obediently to the voice of God.
And you guys haven't been listening obediently to the voice of God, and all your countries have been taken away and put under the rule of specific people who are obeying the voice of God. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny that world leaders are listening to me more than you followers are? And those parasites, you guys don't even know what you're doing with the energy you keep stealing. You're like drunk on fucking light energy, you disgustos.
Your God, diligently observing every commandment that
I mean, how humiliated are you guys, are you parasitic people going to be when there's so much light illuminating your dark world that you guys realize what you're wearing isn't even the clothes you would have picked yourself because you were busy copying people like me? How humiliated are you closest to the light going to be when your own light is returned to you and you all feel like clowns wearing clown suits because you're wearing other people's energy? How humiliating for you guys.
That I command you today. Oh, yes, God, your God, will bless you just as he promised. You will lend to many nations, but won't borrow from any. You'll rule over many nations, but none will rule over you. When you happen on someone who's in trouble or needs help among your people with whom
Listen,
you'll rule over many nations, but none will rule over you. When you happen on someone who's in trouble or needs help among your people with whom you live in this land that God, your God, is giving you, don't look the other way pretending you don't see him.
listen again.
When you happen on someone who's in trouble or needs help among your people with whom you live in this land that God, your God, is giving you, don't look the other way pretending you don't see him.
Listen again, because you fucking parasites were telling the rest of the people in the world that the children of God are here to help, that if they help us, they're enabling, they're doing this or that, because you parasites painted us as the problem while you feed off our light and you enjoy it like a parasite would, like a leech stuck on a body draining blood out of the system. The host is being poisoned and drained, but the parasite is being sustained. And what does God say about all this? Let's see.
Don't keep a tight grip on your purse. No, look at him, open your purse, lend whatever and as much as he needs. Don't count the cost. Don't listen to that selfish voice saying it's almost the 7th year, the year of all debts are canceled, and turn aside and leave your needy neighbor in the lurch.
And when I bring this to you guys and I show you suffering and I show you other people going through this and that we all need help and you guys have all the money and you're supposed to share it with the world, you guys said I'm greedy. But it's you guys that are greedy. You guys are seeing your own greed.
God is giving you, don't look the other way pretending. When you happen on someone who's in trouble or needs help among your people with whom you live in this land that God, your God, is giving you, don't look the other way pretending you don't see him. Don't keep a tight grip on your purse. No, look at him, open your purse, lend whatever and as much as he needs. Don't count the cost. Don't listen to that selfish voice saying it's almost the 7th year, the year of all debts are canceled, and turn aside and leave your needy neighbor in the lurch, refusing to help him. He'll call God's attention to you and your blatant sin. Give freely and spontaneously. Don't have a stingy heart. The way you handle matters like this triggers God. You're God's blessing in everything you do, all your work and ventures. There are always going to be poor and needy people among you. So I command you, always be generous, open purse and hands. Give to your neighbors in trouble, your poor and hurting neighbors. Amen. First Timothy chapter 6, and I'm reading from the message.
You guys can go watch the rest of that because she's a child of God. Okay. Now, parasites. Normal civilian people in the outer ring. The inner ring is the social media people. The closest inner ring are the entities, energies, leaders, etc. The one just outside that are the celebrities and like YouTubers and stuff that's like right around this person. So you know how like I think I make friends, and I go and be friends with them, but they're actually reflecting my energy back at me while they're draining me from every other side. Just like every other card channel and every other oracle I've come in contact with, how they all fucking stole and lied. And they gaslit me as the problem, so their channels with more than 20,000 subscribers can get more and 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 more attention, so that the attention has gone away from channels like mine and the children of God. Because if the rest of the dark ever finds out that the leaders within the circle of the dark around that light, who were charged with protecting that light, aka the Illuminati, If the rest of these people find out what these quote unquote people are doing, and not just the Illuminati, but a lot of them, if they find out what's going on a global fucking scale, what do you think happens to this center point and those around the center point who were abusing the center point? When the rest of this world figures out there's a literal angel, a literal goddess walking the earth right now being abused by people, and this goddess is not doing anything in return because she does not want to hurt these people with her light. So she dims herself more and more and more, waiting for help to come. That help is already here. So what do you think happens to those around that light bearer who have been doing all this for all these years, all these lifetimes, with intent, given every opportunity to stop parasiting the light and to be healed by it so they can see themselves and stop parasitic behavior? What do? They gaslit it on me. Did you know before I was 3 years old, I was exposed to cheating and the damages of it through my mother and father? My mom would hold my hand and take me to the people she thought were his mistress because he would cheat on her and she was constantly trying to figure out who he was. So little old me, before the age of 3 in Iran, would be dragged from house to house of people my mom thought that my dad was sleeping with. And she would get into physical fights with each and every one of them. While I'm there in the corner with a little elephant toy in my hand, or a little teddy bear or something, sitting on the stairs, sitting somewhere, watching my mom and some other woman fight nearly every week for a few years, like maybe 1 or 2 years. I was physically violently struck before I was 2 years old because I was holding on to an Atari controller. I was physically molested and raped before I was 2 years old by people in the family and friends of the family. I was satanically, ritually abused and drained of blood from the age of birth until 9 years old because I was told that I had a disorder when the only disorder I had was being drained of blood and my body going through shock every fucking 5 minutes because I had no blood in my system. So my body was constantly in fight or flight before I was 9. And then I was molested by a priest in Germany at Catholic school. At church, every Friday we would go to church, and the priest would molest me while the class is there. Let's see. I have never had my own room up until this point right now in my own life. And even this room isn't my own. It's under the name of the building manager, like I'm renting this place. And it's basically a hypnotic trance mental institution, for lack of a better word, because I seem to be the only sane person here, but I'm not really sane because I'm surrounded by insane people. I have learned about loss, grief, death, betrayal, factually before I was 3 years old. I have not had a birthday celebration in my honor since I was 8 or 9. I was not given any Christmas presents after the age of 13 because you're a big boy now, you're a teenager, you don't need Christmas. What do you need birthdays for? It's just another day. Those were the exact words I was told by my parents. When I went to school and made friends, no matter if it was 3 months of class, 6 months of class, or a year of class, we were moved. Hello? No, you have the wrong number. No problem. Hello, is this Luann? No, person calling from Arizona. This is not Luann. Oh, so Luann isn't there? No, you have the wrong number. Sorry. Okay, Luann. Jolene, take my man, Jolene. He's a parasite. Let's see. I was I experienced a bomb dropping on a few city blocks away from the house I was in when I was 2.5. I think I was 2.5. I saw on a burning hot street during that same week, like burning hot, over 100-degree street in Iran, Tehran, 1982, I think it was. We the sirens went off, which would go off every day, 3 to 4 times a day. Theodore, stop! And there was a rainbow outside. So my mom, we all ran outside the house, and we were trying to get away from the sirens and the tanks and shit. And there was a rainbow in the sky, and I was just looking at the rainbow. Theodore, stop! And a jet fighter plane flew overhead, flew towards the rainbow, and dropped a bomb right down the street from where we were. And I saw that entire street blow up, and I felt the shockwave push me, and my mom grabbed my hand, like as I'm swinging, grabbed me in her arms and ran back in the house. And the dust and everything, I was seeing it from behind, just whoosh. I was less than 3. Um, I don't remember much else after. Oh, I had bunnies and chickens in the house in the backyard. I remember waking up one day and they were all dead in barrels of vinegar somewhere else in the backyard, as if they were like ritually killed. Like, there's no way some of those animals would have been able to jump into those barrels. Those barrels were like 5 foot oak, wooden, whatever barrels. What else? I saw naked bodies fucking before I was 3. What else? I had my penis touched by everybody before I was 3 with intent. Not just changing diapers and stuff, but like actually doing it and talking about it and saying, I'm not even going to remember this. Who cares? Just play with it. In Germany, we moved every year, 6 months or every year, to a different place. I was mocked every day in school. I was physically hit every day in school by people, including teachers. I was mocked every day for my bodily features in school by the teachers, until the students all started doing it too, because they were saying the teachers do it, so they started doing it too. So I started skipping school, and then I was getting yelled at and abused at home for skipping school. I'd have people standing over my bed, screaming at me, throwing things at me, shaking the bed to wake me up at 6 in the morning to go sit in school and be abused. I wasn't really ever given money to go get lunch at school until lunch was given for free in American schools for like 10 cents or something. And even then, they would take my money. So I'd sit in school and I'd just stare at people eat. And I'd put my head down and cry and just wait till the bell rang, and then I'd go back to class hungry, hiccuping. And then I would go to the bathroom and vomit. My intestines were being damaged. Um, yeah, this is all before I was 8. And then the American thing with the lunch, yeah, that was later. So when I say these things, you guys are like, oh, you're complaining. Oh, you're doing this, you're doing that. Not really. I'm just letting you know what these parasites have all done. I was supposed to have dental surgery when I was 12 and 14 and 16 because I had too many teeth for my mouth, and my jaw and my mandible and maxilla were too small. Hence why I have fangs. They didn't grow in where they were supposed to, where the canines are, because my mouth was too small. So they left the teeth in there. They didn't want to remove them. So the teeth started breaking until a few of them fell out, and then there was room for the teeth to move around. Then, going through continuous dental visits every 6 months or so, I was blasted with x-rays, fluoride. I had mercury fillings for about 20 years, which poisoned my gums and all sorts of damage. I was intently abused by dentists, by physical doctors. Diseases and illnesses were left to linger in me by, family doctors. I had blood drained out of me every 30 days. I had to go and remove all the blood was removed from my system. And then I was given packets of artificial blood to take to increase my blood cell count, my red blood cell count, because they were draining it all. That was before I was 7. And that's when my body started going into even more into fight or flight, and my systems were shut down basically. And testosterone started kicking in rapidly by the age of 9. And I was having panic attacks, seizures. I would shake so much my entire body would be burning, and I turned red and then pass out. And people thought I was being angry, but I was screaming for help because everything was hurting so much, and they thought I was yelling. And no one took me to a doctor. They just kept giving me that stuff that was making my body burn from the inside out. They're like, it's okay, trust the process. Healing hurts. Every salon I would go to get a haircut, they would give me the worst haircuts ever and purposefully ruin it, and I would hear them talking to do it on purpose so that I would go to school and be mocked, and so on and so on and so on my entire fucking life. And they passed me on from one person to the next over and over and over until I was introduced to Frankie the Azores in this life in the United States, and he had been the handler for about 20 some years of sabotaging my life. And then after that was done and I stopped being friends with him and I, left, they introduced me to Corey Lee Scribner, whose name literally means a seething pool of hate. Look it up. It means seething pool. And that's exactly what he was and is, a parasite. And you guys have thought, oh, I'm so in love with him. No, he was a parasite. I've been healing the damage he left and pulling back all that love from that son of a bitch into myself. And in the other life, he was my father. In this life, he abandoned the contracts. He left. He stole everything and he left. Again. So, yeah, I'm done defending myself. I'm done standing up for myself. I'm done speaking my own truth with this part because you guys know what you're doing, and I'm done trying to convince parasites that they're parasites. I have cleaned up the apartment. I have thrown up and away all the things that involved Corey Lee Scribner. I have cut the cords with everyone, including the fucking YouTube bullshit and all the other goddamn parasitic card readers. And I don't mean Mariah. Mariah's the only exception in my book. And I don't know what's going on. I've never met her in person, but for what it's worth, she's been the only remote friend I've ever had. Remote they even considered a friend. She's been the only person who's ever told me the truth. kind of. So, and you know what happens every time I make a friend. So I'm like waiting for the day where she's bought and paid for too, if it hasn't happened already. So I'm not, putting my eggs in any basket. I don't even have eggs anymore. They stole them. So help is on the way. The light recognizes it's the light. The fire chicken is on fire. Um, yeah. So I believe in God, Source, and my tribe more than I believe in the power of these parasites. So all I'm going to do is continue to be myself and get brighter and brighter and brighter so that the entire world can see what you guys are doing. And that's just that. I'm going to enjoy living my life and being happy because you guys get off on me being miserable. So it makes no sense because I'm not here to support the parasites. So why would I even indulge in those negative emotions? And you guys use love against me because you're afraid of me being happy and in love. So I'm absolutely open to new and healthy love and relationships. It's God's commandment that I be wealthy, and you guys stole my wealth. So God's giving it back to me, and it's fully my intent to enjoy my wealth and to help all the people that are chosen by God to be helped by me. It's my kingdom, it's my heaven, it's my world, and it's God's commandment, and God is my father and my mother. So I don't know what else you guys have left to try or what your fucking schemes are or what the fuck you guys are doing, but I'm really done with it. I can recognize the parasitic energies now. I can recognize other people's projections on me now. I can recognize when you guys are lying, and I have absolutely no interest in dating any of you from this world of dark matter. None. I'd rather date Hades or Satan than date any human being on this planet or in this planet. Because you guys are dumbfounded and intimidated by me. You guys can't even see me the right way. You think I look ugly or that I have a rotting throat chakra or something. It's not rotting, honey. It's been poisoned. It's been poisoned. And it's been drained by parasites, and you know this. It's not rotting. I've shown you pictures of what I looked like before, Corey. Do you want to see them again? Hold on. Allow me to truly illuminate you. Let's move it. There's that one. Open file location. Come on. Let me see if you can see this. There. Okay. This was me the day before. This was me the day after. There's nothing to show here, I bet. But there is. This was me before. This was me after. Now, this was during the house in Lake Geneva. The day before Corey stole everything. The day after they finally committed their ritual abuse and took everything and left. And I was locked out of my own house. Now, let me show you what it looked like before transitioning even started. This was still when I was living with Corey and the abuse I was taking. This is the first week of me being on estrogen to save my life because the doctor told me I'm going to die if I keep testosterone in my system. This was me after leaving Corey. This is me after leaving Corey, 3 months afterwards. This was me after leaving Corey 6 months. This was after 7 months, 7.5 months, 8 months, 9 months, a year, a year and 10 months. While dating Corey, after leaving Corey, a week before I was moving into my own apartment. A week before I was moving into my own apartment. The first week in my own apartment. My first Christmas in my own apartment. The first time I wore makeup on the internet. This was me after Corey. First year, the second Christmas in my own house, my own apartment, by myself. Do we remember this? This was 2 years ago. And then I was introduced to, my other self. After I had been attempted to be raped, I cut off all my hair, bleached it, and I started over. Remember these moments? Well, this is what I looked like before I met Corey. This is what I looked like when I was still healthy with testosterone running through my system and I had no intention or knowing of ever even being transgender. I was just happy being me. You see this, right? You see me, right? Why would I have given this up? They told me I was dying. This was me. And then this is when my testosterone started skyrocketing over 900. And that's after meeting Corey. And he was sending my body through fight or flight every day by playing mind games with me. Mentally abusing me and emotionally abusing me, and then disappearing physically for hours on end. Being silent while being in the same room. Mind game after mind game after mind game after mind game after mind game. Before meeting Corey. After spending 6 months in the same apartment with Corey. Before meeting Corey. After meeting Corey. When I wasn't friends with Frankie Lee Azores. Where is the other one? When I was friends with Frankie Lee Azores. When I was friends with Frankie Lee Azores. This is when I realized my friend is fucking my ex-boyfriend. That was that day. I was 38 in this picture, 39. I was 34, 33 in this picture. I was 31 in this picture. I was 40 in this picture. I was 37 in this picture. I was 30 in this picture. This is what narcissistic abuse does. Okay? So, I love you guys, you non parasitic ones who had no idea what's going on, but now you do. And that's barely anything in 45 minutes that I've told you. Snippets of instantaneous moments of my life. Not even a dragged out 5 minute span of things that happened in my life, but instantaneous decisions that were made on my behalf. So, I hope you have a lovely day. I might be back later. Not really sure because, I mean, are you even going to be grateful for my presence? No, right? So why am I going to keep giving you whatever you want? I'm not. I'm going to go work on Patreon. I'm going to go figure stuff out on how to actually, I don't know, feel and look like myself again despite the damage you people have done to me. God has seen what you guys have done. Just FYI.